Most of us know what we do, at least we think we know what we do. Planners are no exception. They're pretty sure they know what they do, but it took somebody to actually write it down. And that's Amanda Cecil, who chaired a group of people charged with writing down competency levels for planners. So welcome, Amanda. Good to speak to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell us, because I know you've been chairing the Meeting and Business Event Competency Group, Committee, and tell us what that was all about.
Sure. A couple of years ago, we put together a task force that was really charged with writing down what a meeting professional does on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a yearly basis. So, we really wanted to articulate the broad skills and abilities and knowledge that someone in our field needs to know. And so we took the time, it was an 18-month process, in putting together the first ever industry standard for the meeting profession. And it was simply to put it on paper of what we do. So we stopped justifying what we do as professionals, and now we really started to push the industry and elevate the industry forward in doing those.
And I should say, you got a RISE award, as I understand it.
Yes, thank you.
Was it for you or the chapter or your group?
It was an individual group, or an individual award. A couple of years ago, this committee, this body of knowledge task force, was also given the Chairwoman's Award in Toronto, or Vancouver, a number of years ago. So we have a group award and an individual award
for the
same effort.
Right. So in writing these things down, is that to say these are stated now as a job outline, skills outline, or skills objectives, and how are they used?
So they're used really in a number of ways, and we kind of broke it down into three really important uses that we thought. One was in the development of education and training. So MPI is using these competency standards to put together education workshops, training seminars, really targeted to this standard. We're also using it heavily in higher education and looking at our curriculum, at our programs, to make sure we are delivering what the industry is looking for in future professionals. We want to train students and educate students with relevant knowledge and industry information.
So these competency levels aren't just esoteric statement of principles,
No.
They're actually targets that you're aiming at.
Absolutely. And then the third area is that we're hoping that professionals will use these to write job descriptions, and also in interviewing and comparing candidates. We want them to hire the best person for that meeting role. So now people are comparing individuals and what they have on their resumes, what they're listing as their core competencies, their skills, to the standard, and identifying the best candidates for certain roles and responsibilities in an organization.
It is a complete process, isn't it? They have to be trained and educated to know what's important so that they can put that on to match the skills. And does it seem curious to you that an industry this big and this mature is only now getting around to writing these things? I mean, better now, if not now, when? But
Sure. And we see, like I said, we see the standard as fluid. We see it changing. Our profession changes, all the time. Right. So we see this as a continual process of continuing to update these, republish them, new versions. So it really is a long-term commitment when you put this on paper.
Because as you say, by definition, competency will change. The definition of competency depends on what you're being competent in.
Absolutely.
And there will the competency standards then mirror something in terms of certification?
It does. In fact, the CIC adopted this standard for the new CMP blueprint, the new test outline for the certified meeting professional exam.
From your body
yes.
of knowledge.
So you're seeing links to certification exams, again, to education, job postings, higher ed. So we're really seeing this being used in a number of ways.
As an educator, and I should have mentioned you're with Indiana University, do students see this as a good thing? Do they want to have clearly articulated standards or principles? Does that make them?
They do. And as students are looking to which programs, especially the quality students, which programs are linking to industry and which programs are delivering what is needed to to start a career in this field. So those students who are really researching universities and really being selective, and a lot of them are being selective, this during this time and
Right, sure.
tough economic times. They want to make sure that there's a confidence level in the university that they're going to. And so programs in meeting management need to take a look at this because students are looking at it and they're looking for those ties.
Is it hard, or was it hard, to get the university administration wrapped around meeting planning as a curriculum?
I've got to say, I live in Indianapolis, and Indianapolis is a convention destination. And when we started our program 10 years ago, it was easy to sell because
They saw
that's
the
the
need.
direction of the destination, that's where the city was going.
Right.
And so we kind of piggybacked on where our destination was going. And so we have not had any difficulty selling business events, meetings, convention as a profession to our administration and to our city leaders. That's who we are and that's what we do.
And what convinced you to make the move from doing to teaching?
Sure. Well, both my parents were educators. And so it runs
In the genes.
It runs a little in the blood, but I love being in the classroom. I love working with students. Some of my best years were on a college campus as a student. I knew that's where I really wanted to be, was on a college campus, and I can't imagine my daily life not being at a university.
And these young people are a challenge. I can only imagine.
They are a challenge and an inspiration. I always say both.
What part of your success, and you've had considerable success, would you suggest others emulate? Would it be your wisdom to move to academia, or?
Academia is a passion, and if so many people say that you get into teaching for one reason, and that's because you love it.
Right.
And I do, and I would say if anyone has that passion to work in a university with students, it's a great life, it's a great career. I just love being there.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
We've been speaking with Amanda Cecil, who's taught us a thing or two about writing down your job description because she knows how to do it.